Thank you, Sophie. Hello and a very good evening and welcome to Wednesday night's Look North. A teenager is killed in a hit and run in Pateley Bridge. The police and his family plead with the driver to come forward.
Bailey was just a normal, happy, outgoing 19-year-old lad who had his whole life ahead of him.
Detectives say this is the moment for the driver to do the right thing. Also tonight, a shortage of housing adapted for people with disabilities leaves vulnerable people stranded. Crowds go crazy, celebrating the Lionesses' last gasp win. And the TikTok star hitting it big in care homes. Stay seated, we're all getting a workout.
Well, this picture this morning sums today's weather up. Some sunshine, a lot of cloud, and indeed, there are a few showers around. But what about Thursday and into the weekend? Join me for the detailed forecast.
Hello there, thank you for your company. We start tonight with a dreadfully sad story. Do the right thing. That is what the family of 19-year-old Bailey Chadwick have said today in an emotional plea to a driver who knocked down and killed him in a hit and run in North Yorkshire. Bailey was hit by a vehicle near Pateley Bridge early on Sunday morning. Police joined his family at the scene today and issued a message to the driver. Come to us before we come to you. Here's Olivia Richwald.
Bailey Chadwick was walking home along this road, the B265, coming out of Pateley Bridge in the early hours of Sunday morning when he was hit by a vehicle. The driver did not stop, and Bailey was left here at the side of the road to die, aged just 19. His family have said they will miss Bailey more than words can say. And today, his mother and stepfather made an emotional appeal to the driver to come forward.
No words can express how absolutely devastated we are. Bailey was just a normal, happy, outgoing 19-year-old lad who had his whole life ahead of him.
The fact that someone knows who was driving that night is heartbreaking for all of us. Please, if it's you, do the right thing and speak to the police. Please, if you have any information which will help, trace the person responsible. Please help. If you've any empathy within you whatsoever, it's the least you could do.
Bailey Chadwick has been described as an amazing friend. He was 19, worked at a pub, supported Sheffield Wednesday, played guitar and was about to go travelling in Thailand. His friends have left messages and tributes at the roadside where he died.
Me and Baz at Bailey had that flag since we were younger, like we used to go to football, so just brought it down with me and thought it'd be just nice for him, innit? He'd have loved it. Me and him used to travel up and down country watching Wednesday together. I'll miss doing that, like, but it'll be there every away game and home game I go to. Be there.
He was a great lad, lovely lad, legend really. Everyone in the village and that loved him. Just everyone really, just very upsetting.
North Yorkshire Police want to hear from anyone who was driving in this area between 1:44 and 3:10 in the early hours of Sunday, July the 20th. The detective leading the investigation appealed directly to the driver to come forward.
Bailey had everything to look forward to in his life. He was a well-loved, popular young man with a lifetime of adventures ahead of him. Now this is all gone. We are conducting extensive and detailed investigation with numerous lines of inquiry, including CCTV. As the driver, this is your opportunity to come to us before we come to you.
Jack believes he was the last person to see Bailey alive.
So left Pateley Club at about 25 to 2 in the morning, started walking up here, and then I stopped at mine. He carried on walking, does walk every night, so I thought out of it, and then 15 minutes later this happened.
Bailey worked at this Pateley Bridge pub. They have described him as the most lovable, caring, trustworthy, happy, smiley and beautiful young man. Police say the grief endured by his family and friends is being compounded because the driver has failed to come forward. Olivia Richwald, BBC Look North, Pateley Bridge.
And we will keep you up to date with that story. Now, in other news tonight, a woman from Pontefract says she has become effectively trapped by the steps leading to her home after becoming reliant on a wheelchair while waiting for new social housing. Carol Richardson began applying for new properties through a local housing association 2 years ago when it became clear her home was no longer suitable. Vico Homes said it empathised with her situation and encouraged her to continue to bid on its homes with other providers too. Our health correspondent Jamie Coulson reports.
I ain't living, I'm existing. I've been out twice since just before Christmas. You know, I shut curtains and just me, and that's it. Well, next morning and it's frightening, it's scary.
Carol Richardson's health has been deteriorating in recent years as the effects of a childhood stroke have left her increasingly disabled. 2 years ago, she began applying for social housing that would better meet her needs because the bungalow she privately rents is no longer suitable and can't be fully adapted. Despite being assessed as a high priority for around 8 months, nothing has yet been found. And now that she relies on a wheelchair, the steps into her property mean she is effectively trapped.
I only move from here into the bedroom, into the kitchen, to the toilet. That's all I've done since Christmas. It's soul destroying. If there's a fire and I can't get out, I'm just going to burn. Now, as you can see, with the toilet, I've no dignity at all. I mean, I just go in, manoeuvre myself round, plop myself on the toilet, bathroom same.
Carol has been applying for properties through Vico Homes, which was formerly known as Wakefield District Housing, on a weekly basis. Her family contacted BBC Look North after seeing a similar story we featured about David Taylor, an amputee from Nottingley who's been stuck in Pontefract Hospital since the middle of January because no suitable housing can be found. In his case, Vico Homes says it's working with relevant partners to support him and exploring options to help him return home.
I would like to see Vico Homes build some new properties.
Councillor Pete Girt represents Nottingley on Wakefield Council.
Well, I've been a councillor for a little over 3 years and I've lost count of the number of cases, people that have contacted me. I've been successful helping some people get rehoused, but the vast majority it is still ongoing.
Vico Homes says it empathises with Carol's situation and is encouraging her to continue bidding on homes with them and other providers, while Wakefield Council says its social work team continues to support her with applications. But for now, all Carol can do is wait. Jamie Coulson, BBC Look North.
Well, Michael Earhart is from Disability Rights UK. Earlier today, I asked him how common situations like Carol's actually are.
Unfortunately, as distressing as Carol's story is, it's not uncommon. The North has some of the highest accessibility gaps for housing in the country. There are millions more disabled people than there are fully accessible homes. And across the country, council waiting lists for fully accessible homes are ballooning. Right? It takes almost 40 years, maybe more than 40 years, for someone joining a council waiting list for a fully accessible, wheelchair accessible home to get one. That's just untenable.
It's an extraordinary number, 40 years. Clearly the long-term answer is to build more houses and build more houses that are fit for whatever needs a person has. But in the short term, what can we do?
In the short term, the government has to be much braver and bolder than it is now, because one of the things that traps people in inaccessible homes, especially in the private rented sector, is the ballooning cost of rent. It costs thousands of pounds more to rent in the North this year than it did in years past. And that means for lots of disabled private renters, they're having to choose these inaccessible and dangerous homes because they're all that they can afford. The government could be giving metro mayors the power to set rents locally, something that would keep people safe and allow people sort of to have choice over where they rent, but they've chosen not to do so.
Now, we know there are grants available. Indeed, there are grants available for landlords as well. So there is some middle ground here, isn't there, where people can ask for some help towards adapting a house?
Absolutely. And if you are watching and thinking, I need a change to my home to make it safer, to make it more accessible, do contact your local authority, because there are grants such as the Disabled Facilities Grant available, which might help you make changes.
Michael Ehart from Disability Rights UK. Now, we've asked the Ministry of Housing, Communities and Local Government for a response to these issues. They said there are protections in place for tenants to request adaptations from their landlords, and the Disabled Facilities Grant has provided £711 million this year to fund thousands of additional home adaptations for older and disabled people. Now you're watching Wednesday night's Look North. Still ahead on tonight's programme, we meet Chris, cleaning up the streets of York and now nominated for a Make a Difference award. Now, some of the stories we're hearing about today. The family of a murdered Leeds teenager have taken part in the first of a series of events aimed at reducing serious violent crime in West Yorkshire. 15-year-old Alfie Lewis was stabbed outside a primary school in Horsforth in 2023. Today, his aunt was a speaker at an event bringing together different agencies to discuss ways to stop violence, including knife crime and gang culture.
There is a lot of people trying to get to the same point, the same aim, the same goal, the same vision, but they're all doing it independently. And for me, strength is in numbers. So collectively, united, we can make a difference. It just needs us all to be singing off the same hymn sheet.
We believe that we're all doing brilliant work in isolation. We're not coming together effectively enough to end this terrible crime. It is happening here in West Yorkshire, and we need to do something positively to say to those families that the Mayor stands with you. We're taking these crimes seriously, but we're also taking the prevention of these crimes more seriously.
Well, meanwhile, a 15-year-old boy has told a jury at Sheffield Crown Court that he ordered the knife he used to kill a fellow pupil weeks before the fatal stabbing at their school, and that he chose it because it was a scary knife. The teenager has admitted the manslaughter of Harvey Wilgoose at All Saints Catholic High School last February, but he denies murder. He told the court he ordered the knife for protection and that he wanted people to believe he carried a knife. He will continue to give evidence tomorrow. The Chief Executive of Leeds Teaching Hospitals has announced he's set to retire after 30 years in the NHS. Professor Phil Wood has been CEO for 2 years and he was Chief Medical Officer during the COVID pandemic. He also led the trust when a BBC investigation found deaths at maternity wards in Leeds could have been prevented. One father whose daughter died at a ward in Leeds questioned the timing of the resignation as a national investigation into maternity care has been announced.
The Trust chair commending his outstanding leadership is completely at odds with the failings that have materialised in Leeds Maternity over the last 5 or 10 years and beyond. I think it's clear that he is abandoning a sinking ship before he and a number of others in his organisation are put under intense scrutiny.
Well, Mr Wood has told us he felt now was the right time to retire with changes in the NHS nationally, and he would stay on until the end of the year to make sure maternity improvement plans were fully embedded with his incoming replacement. Next tonight, Leeds Bradford Airport has been told it must still stick to night flight rules that were first set out back in the 1990s. The airport has been flying hundreds more flights at night because they say the regulations about aircraft noise levels are unclear. But now, a planning inspector has ruled that modern, quieter aeroplanes do count towards the night flight limit. That decision has been welcomed by campaigners, as our transport correspondent Spencer Stokes reports.
An argument over how many aircraft can take off and land at Leeds Bradford Airport at night time. Rules agreed in the 1990s set that limit at 2,920 flights between 11 p.m. and 7 a.m. But aircraft noise campaigners and Leeds City Council looked at data and said hundreds more flights than allowed were being flown. The airport argued that modern planes with quieter engines should be excluded from the data. Now a government planning inspector has ruled the nighttime cap needs to apply equally to nearly all types of aircraft.
No more night flights, we need our sleep.
Campaigners who gathered in Leeds today see that as a win for them.
The airport has been using their interpretation of the rules for the past 4 years as an excuse to break the night flight limit by, between 700 and 800 more flights than are allowed every year. So the inspector's ruling has meant that interpretation has been rejected, and therefore the airport must comply with that limit.
The public inquiry sat for 4 days in March, with the planning inspector hearing evidence from all sides. Leeds Bradford Airport argued they needed clarity, and that's why the 2,920 night flight cap had been exceeded.
Technology has changed enormously over the last 30 years, and the way that the original permission was written is unclear as to how certain things should be treated.
Today, the airport said we're reviewing the outcomes of the public inquiry and will be working closely with Leeds City Council to determine the best path forward. Some campaigners, meanwhile, are so fed up with aircraft noise, they're soundproofing their homes.
In that window, we're having acoustic glass fitted because that's when we need the quiet at night.
Martin Hemingway says he's woken every night by planes taking off over Otley.
It wakes us during the night, and then we get a clutch of flights around about 6 in the morning, and if we haven't woken before then. But usually there's flights through the night around about 2 o'clock, seems to be popular as well.
Martin's new windows go in next week. He hopes they provide some relief. It's Leeds City Council's job to enforce the night flight rules. They say council officers are currently working through the detail of the decisions to assess any potential planning implications. Whilst this process is ongoing, it would be premature for us to comment further. With passenger numbers in excess of 4 million and with growth ambitions, Leeds Bradford Airport could now ask for a judicial review, but that hasn't been decided. Spencer Stokes, BBC Look North, Leeds.
Thank you, Spencer. Let's reflect now on last night's triumph for England's women footballers. Their semi-final win over Italy admittedly did take a little bit of time to materialise, didn't it? They had it all wrapped up by the 119th minute, but it was well worth the wait, especially for those out in the open here in our region enjoying a very big screen up-close view. Here's Paul Ogden.
A bit like England's tournament as a whole so far, last night's fans' congregation in Leeds' Millennium Square was a slow burner, lacking a bit of oomph somehow. Still, eventually, the desired result came when England's girls reached Sunday's European Championship final. Subdued at first, Sheffield's Esme Morgan helped keep England's defence intact after Italy had opened the scoring, and Whitby's Beth Mead, a pest to the Italians late on, won the penalty that caused the save to present the chance for Chloe Kelly to put England through. It was that kind of moment.
It's insane. I think we never really gave up that we thought we would win. It was very touch and go for a second there, but I think we always had hope that we would get the last goal in there.
You don't need to be a football fan, you don't need to be an England fan. You watch the match and you're from England, you support who you support, it doesn't matter.
Remember, Sunday's final for England against either Spain or Germany is a 5 o'clock tea time kickoff. And if you fancy watching the BBC's live coverage on an even bigger screen than your TV, Sheffield City Council have today announced that Tudor Square will be hosting a big screen for up to 2,500 people. Gates will open there at 3 o'clock. Paul Ogden, BBC Look North.
Sheffield is the place to be if you do want to watch that big screen in Tudor Square. Fingers crossed for the weather. We'll have the forecast in a minute. Now, BBC One's Radio 1's Greg James has received an honorary doctorate from the University of York this afternoon. The breakfast show presenter was recognised for his contribution to society and championing mental health after leading a memorial service for the beloved campus duck Longboy last year. Thanks to Greg and his mission to bring people together, the large mallard became a worldwide sensation with his unusually long neck, and a statue was installed at the university.
It's been an amazing day. It's been very inspiring to be part of it, and this is an amazing university, and it was really awe-inspiring to see just so many joyful, relieved faces that they've done something really significant, and everyone got their moment, big applause, big whoops in the hall, and it was a real privilege to sit there and watch it all happen.
I'm tempted to say it was an honorary doctorate. Now, in more duck-related news, a family of ducklings has been rescued after being trapped in a water treatment tank. The 7 babies were found in the water at the works near Pickering in North Yorkshire. Yorkshire Water said the mother duck was nowhere to be found, with staff managing to fish them out and hand them over to a nearby rescue centre. I'm sure they even held the bill. Thank you. A street cleaner from York is winning awards and may have another on the way. Chris Patrick works for York Bid, cleaning the pavements and street furniture in the centre of the city. He was named Best Ambassador at the 2025 Association of Town and City Management Awards. He won the title for his dedication to his duties, keeping York looking its best. And now he's even better been nominated for a BBC Radio York Make a Difference Award too, as Phil Bodmer reports.
It's 7 a.m. in the centre of York. The streets are filled with the sights and sounds of a city preparing for a fresh new day.
I'm just about to tidy this area up, give the bin a clean, tidy these areas up where people sit having their lunch.
Chris has been a street cleaner in York for 7 years. He's known for his cheerful demeanour and going above and beyond his duties.
Right, I need to sweep that up.
What happened?
I think the van's just caught it when it's took past that lorry there. What we clean? Vomit and human milk and everything like that. The proper nasty stuff, yeah.
Just will not say no. He will find a solution, and he will just roll up his sleeves, put his gloves on, and he will tackle anything that needs tackling. And that might be something very, very disgusting, or it might be trying his hand at gardening or painting or whatever it might be.
Yeah, I travel here to do this job because I love doing it. The people here are good. It's a great place to work. I've enjoyed it so far, so I'm going to keep coming till hopefully that enjoyment goes, but it won't go yet.
Chris was recently named as the Best Ambassador in National Town and City Centre Awards, and he's also been nominated in the Radio York Make a Difference Awards.
When I get an award, it's for all these other people that do things here. It's not, you know what I mean, we've got, on Rejuvenation, we've got volunteers, and we sometimes have 40 people on a day painting York. It's amazing, and I get an award for that, so really it's for them.
Yay, go Chris, busting makes them feel good. Now, finally tonight, are you sitting comfortably? If so, why don't we get a sweat on? Social media is awash with fitness tips and videos of buff bodies, apparently, but a young TikToker working in Leeds is racking up millions of views with his videos of care home fitness sessions. Bailey Greetham wanted to show the joy exercise can give you, whatever your age, and his heartwarming videos are proving super popular online. Kathy Killick has been to pull a muscle for us at the Wykebeck Court Care Home in Leeds.
Hey, good morning, everybody. How are we doing? We okay? We okay? Hiya, Betty.
Well, Betty might be trying a run for it, but there's no escaping the enthusiasm of 22-year-old Bailey Greetham. His care home exercise sessions have become the stuff of legend.
Yeah, there you go, lovely.
He started posting videos on TikTok, capturing the sweet moments that made his day. And unsurprisingly, they've really taken off.
Oh, whoa! What was that? Where did that come from? You nearly knocked my moustache off.
Exercise is absolutely what we're about, and we're here to do that. But for me, it's about making sure that people are together and happy and joyful. And then if we do a little bit more movement, then that's just a special bonus. So mixing all that together, smiles, joy, laughter and exercise, then that's just the perfect session.
Andrea has a special place in her heart for Bailey, and here's why.
I had a stroke 4 years ago in this hand. I'm dead on this hand, can't move it. It's been moving. He helps me move it.
Paul, look at that, Andrea, come on!
First and foremost is it gets us all together. And so we can have a laugh if somebody drops a ball or something like that. You can just laugh at each other.
You don't feel as you're taking anything too seriously. But we're getting there.
Oh, him? Yeah. Lovely. I could take him home with me.
Not only does it help with mobility and movement, dexterity, hand-eye coordination, it's a massive, massive help with our social interaction. They tweak all our exercises to make sure everybody can join in.
Bailey was taken in by his grandparents when he was going through a rough time, and that's given him a special rapport with older people that really shines through.
I think you hang around these lot enough and you start to pick up the lingo, you start to pick up the banter, you know what works, you know what doesn't. If you were to put me on stage in front of a bunch of 20-year-olds, I think there'd be crickets, but in here, I'm like a stand-up comedian, so yeah.
Bailey's videos have been viewed more than 2.5 million times, proving that simple games with fun and laughter make a heartwarming mix across all generations. Cathy Kiddick, BBC Look North, Leeds.
That looks fantastic, doesn't it? And now, a man whose chair aerobics are the talk of the office every morning.
Yes.
It's been changeable today.
Laugh of the office.
Yeah.
Very changeable. Well, I mean, everybody was moaning about the heat.
Yeah,
and
then
now
there's
it's
a bit of
gone.
rain today, and we don't like the sea.
They all want it back.
Yeah.
But
So what are we looking at?
No chance of a heat wave, but I mean, you know, Friday and the weekend's not looking too bad, mostly fine, and fairly quiet early next week. So I'll settle for that. Let's have a look at some of these pictures. Ilkley looking very nice today. The flower beds, as you might imagine, in Ilkley. Not a flower out of place, a little bit of blue sky there. And I thought this was really nice. This was taken in York this afternoon, a beautiful wild meadow flower. I think that's at the York Maze.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Some blue sky there as well. Keep the pictures coming in. If you're out and about tomorrow, send them to me on X, on Instagram, or the Weather Watcher website. So tomorrow's not looking too bad. It's fairly quiet. Always a risk of the odd shower, but most of us should be dry with some sunshine. Let me show you what's happening. This is what we want, a ridge of high pressure pushing in from the west. That means Friday and the weekend should be mostly fine. This little weather front later on Friday, no more than the odd light shower. It shouldn't trouble us. And then, as I say, the weekend's looking pretty good. And it looks like high pressure more or less in charge during the first half of next week. So that means most of us dry with some sunshine, with temperatures close to the late July average. Now there's a radar picture. It's been quite damp across North and West Yorkshire. This area of showers is pushing southwards now into South Yorkshire. So scattered showers will continue over the next few hours, but overnight it becomes dry with clear spells, a little bit of mistiness in places, and we'll see lowest temperatures down to around about 12 or 13 degrees. So tomorrow's high water times then in Scarborough, 4:22, Bridlington at 4:48. So not a bad day tomorrow. Dry and bright start. There will be some sunshine around just like today. The clouds will bubble up. You can just about pick out the odd shower breaking out, but I think most of us will stay dry and it's going to feel fairly pleasant in the afternoon. In fact, let's have a look at those afternoon temperatures. 23 degrees, not bad, 73 Fahrenheit, and I think tomorrow evening should be fine as well, with some sunny spells and just 1 or 2 showers. So for Friday, a fine day with variable cloud and some sunshine, temperatures up to 23, 24 degrees. Then the weekend, 20, 21 degrees, dry with some sunshine, and that largely fine weather looks set to last into next week. So all in all, it's not looking too bad.
They are going to thank you for that in Sheffield, because of course it's tram lines this weekend.
Yes, a really good forecast for that.
Yeah, and last year we had the quagmire of Hillsborough Park.
That's right.
But it looks like it's not going to happen this year.
There's no chance of a quagmire this year.
No chance of a quagmire. You heard it here
Oh,
first.
dear.
From your Wednesday team. Bye-bye.
What could possibly go wrong?